Have you ever felt someone tugging at your thoughts, even when they were miles away? Maybe you were sitting quietly, and their name brushed across your mind like a soft whisper. Or you suddenly knew they were thinking of you, even before the message appeared on your phone. That isn't coincidence. That is the quiet pulse of connection, a spiritual current that links every soul through the invisible thread of thought. You are not separate from the one you love. You are not waiting for them to hear you or notice you. In truth, they already do. Every thought you think about them is felt on some level of being. When you understand this, you no longer chase love. You send love, and love always returns to its sender. The power of mental telepathy is not strange or unnatural. It is the same power that forms worlds, heals hearts, and opens doors. It is simply focused attention, the language of the unseen. When you learn to direct that attention with feeling, faith, and peace, you become magnetic. You draw them not with desperation, but with divine certainty. Remember the words, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That is the key. The heart is the true transmitter, not the mind that argues or worries, but the heart that feels. If your heart holds love, assurance, and kindness, that is what travels across the invisible field. The other person feels it as comfort, as peace, as a sudden longing to reach out to you. When you think of them, do not think of missing them. Do not imagine absence, for absence only strengthens separation. Instead, close your eyes and see them near. Feel their presence as real, as certain as now. Speak to them inwardly as if they are standing before you. Tell them what your heart longs to say, not with words of pleading, but with words of joy. Whisper within, you and I are one in love. You feel my peace. You feel my care. You feel my love surrounding you right now. In that stillness, something beautiful happens. Your inner vision begins to form a living picture. You might see their face smiling back at you, or you may just feel warmth and connection. Do not doubt this experience. That is the movement of spirit. That is the quiet current through which all love travels. When you do this, you are not trying to control anyone. You are not forcing thoughts or demanding feelings. You are simply sending a vibration of truth that love already exists between you. It is like turning on a light in a dark room. You don't force the darkness to leave, you simply shine. And the moment you shine, everything changes. I remember once hearing the story of a woman who longed for her husband, who was far away in another country. Every night she would sit quietly before bed and imagine him safe, happy, and thinking lovingly of her. She would picture him smiling, feeling her love wrap around him like warm air. She didn't pray with worry, she prayed with gratitude, thanking God that their connection was strong. Weeks later, he wrote to her saying, every night around the same time, I could feel you near me. I didn't know why, but I felt peaceful. That is the power of unseen communication. Two souls meeting beyond distance. You see, what we send from the heart never misses its mark. Thought clothed in feeling is creative. The mind is the messenger, but the heart is the sender. If you fill your heart with love and conviction, your message will always arrive. There's a sacred verse that says, whatever things you ask for when you pray, believe that you have received them, and you shall have them. Notice the instruction. Believe you have received. Not that you will, but that you already have. When you imagine the one you love responding with warmth, when you see the union as already real, you fulfill that very law. Your faith becomes the channel. So how do you use this in practice? Begin by entering a quiet state. Let go of the outer world for a few moments. Breathe deeply and relax your body. Then bring their image before your inner eye, not their physical form, but their essence. Feel their energy. Sense the bond between you. Let your heart fill with gratitude for them, gratitude that you already share a connection beyond words. Now speak inwardly to them. You can say, you are surrounded by love. You feel peace when you think of me. You are drawn to me in kindness and joy. Feel it as true. Don't strain. Don't wonder how it will happen. The language of the Spirit is not effort, it is ease. The moment you feel it, release it. Trust that it is done. You may notice subtle signs afterward. They appear in your dreams, their message arrives unexpectedly, or you bump into them at the perfect time. These are not coincidences, they are the echoes of your inner work. You have tuned your vibration to love, and love cannot help but find you. When doubt tries to return, remember this. You can never lose what is yours in truth. You can never be separate from the love that is rooted in divine order. The more you cling in fear, the further it seems to move. But when you rest in faith, when you know that your loving thoughts are felt, everything aligns effortlessly. Sometimes people ask, what if they don't respond? But my friend, they always respond, though not always in the way the outer world measures. Every loving thought transforms something somewhere. It might first heal the part of you that felt unworthy. It might free them from confusion or soften their heart. The answer will unfold in the perfect way. Trust that the unseen knows what you do not. Love is never wasted energy. The moment you send love, you receive it. The moment you imagine harmony, you step into it. The outer meeting simply mirrors the inner union that already exists. Do you know what happens when you make this your daily practice? Your energy changes. You become calm, radiant, assured. You stop wondering if they love you, and instead you begin to know that love moves through you. And that knowing, that unshakable peace, is the greatest magnet in the universe. It pulls every good thing toward you, including the one whose soul is meant to align with yours. One day you will realize that you never needed to chase anyone. You never needed to beg for their attention or wonder what they felt. All you ever needed was to sit quietly and remember who you are, a spiritual being connected to all life, with the power to send love that travels faster than speech and stronger than distance. There's a verse that says, "The kingdom of God is within you." That means the power to attract, to heal, to connect, to create. It all begins within. You don't reach out to get, you reach inward to give. When you give love inwardly, it multiplies outwardly. Imagine for a moment that they are sitting across from you now. Look into their eyes, not the eyes of memory, but the eyes of your spirit. Feel no need to fix, to convince, to change. Just radiate love. Let it flow from you like light from the sun. And as you do, whisper in your heart, you and I are one in perfect love. Wherever you are, you feel this peace, and it draws you gently, beautifully, closer. Then rise and go about your day, knowing that the message has been sent. You don't have to wait or check the result. The universe never loses a message sent in faith. Keep your vibration high, your heart open, and your mind quiet. Keep living as though the union you desire already exists, because in truth it does. The world will mirror your inner conviction. If you believe separation, you'll see it. If you believe union, you'll feel it. Your task is not to make it happen, but to believe it's already happening. The rest unfolds in perfect time. Remember this always: every thought is a seed. Plant love, and you will harvest love. Plant gratitude, and you will harvest grace. Speak silently to the one you love, not from emptiness, but from fullness. Let your words within be blessings, not requests. Let them feel through the ether what you hold in your heart. And if ever you feel weary or unsure, return to silence, breathe. Imagine once more that golden thread connecting you both, alive, pulsing, glowing with divine warmth. That thread can never break, because it is made of something eternal. It is the current of consciousness itself. So use your mind, your faith, your imagination. They are the instruments of creation. Use them not to chase, but to connect, not to demand, but to bless. And when you do, you'll discover that mental telepathy is not a rare gift, but a natural power that awakens when you love deeply and believe completely. You are never alone. The one you think of feels your thought. The one you love feels your love. And as you continue to dwell in this truth, they will be drawn, naturally, gently, joyfully, closer and closer, until the inner vision and the outer world become one. Hold fast to faith, my friend. Speak lovingly in silence, and know that the unseen always answers the language of love. When you begin to live in the awareness that every thought carries power, your entire relationship with life changes. You start to move differently, think differently, and even breathe differently. You no longer send out thoughts of lack or fear, because you understand that the invisible world responds to the feeling behind your focus. You become deliberate. You become gentle. You begin to think only from the state you wish to live in, not from the one you wish to leave. When you think of them now, you don't think of the past or the waiting. You think of the connection that already exists in this moment. You think of how natural it is for them to want to reach out to you, how right it feels for them to think of you with warmth. You stop wondering if they are thinking of you. You know they are, because you have impressed that truth upon your consciousness. Every time you send out a loving thought, it's as though you're setting a gentle ripple into motion across the waters of the unseen. That ripple travels, touches, and stirs something deep in their heart. And when it returns, it brings back reflection, signs, gestures, synchronicities that let you know your faith is not in vain. Think of this connection like two instruments perfectly tuned to the same note. When one vibrates, the other begins to hum even from afar. That is the nature of harmony. That is the nature of spiritual correspondence. When your inner vibration matches the frequency of love, the one attuned to you will feel it. They may not even know why, but something in them will move, something in them will be drawn. The world around you might still look unchanged for a time. Don't be discouraged by appearances. The outer world is just a reflection, a mirror catching up to the pattern you've already set within. Be patient with the process. Keep your faith steady, your imagination pure. When you catch yourself doubting, pause and return to your center. Remember that doubt is not an enemy, it's just a reminder to realign with belief. Don't fight your thoughts, guide them. Gently lead them back to the truth. The connection exists, the bond is real, and love is already answering you in unseen ways. You might wake one morning with a sudden calm or a moment of clarity, as though the tension has lifted. That's the first sign that your mental telepathy is working. You're no longer sending thoughts through fear, but through peace. Peace is the most powerful current in existence. When you send peace, the other feels it and is magnetically drawn to the source of that stillness, you. Sometimes, the one you love may begin to remember things about you. Your laugh, your kindness, the way they felt in your presence. These memories don't arise randomly. They are the echoes of what you've been impressing upon the unseen. When you imagine harmony, their mind begins to recall the feeling of harmony with you. So keep your focus on love, not on outcome. Let the feeling of connection be your only goal. When you can sit quietly and feel that love within you, without needing a message or a call, that's when you've already succeeded. That inner fulfillment is the magnet. The outer contact is simply the shadow of the inner joy. It's beautiful to understand that this is not manipulation, it's communication. True communication of the soul. You are speaking the language of divine energy, which responds only to faith, to love, and to imagination. This is how all creation works. When you begin your day, take a moment to align your thoughts. Instead of reaching for your phone or wondering where they are, reach inward. Close your eyes and say softly, "Thank you that love is flowing freely between us. Thank you that this bond grows stronger in peace." You may not see results instantly, but the unseen is already arranging itself around your belief. Even in the busiest hours, you can practice. While walking, working, or resting, quietly send loving thoughts. Whisper in your heart, "You are loved." You feel peace. You think of me with joy. Let those thoughts be soft and sincere. You'll notice a shift in your energy, a lightness, a confidence that doesn't depend on anything external. That's your confirmation. That's the invisible answering you back. As you grow more skilled in this inner language, you'll begin to see how everything in life responds to your focus. Not just people, but opportunities, peace, abundance, and harmony. The mind that sends love receives love from every direction. The one who walks in faith becomes radiant, and the world cannot help but notice. It's important to remember that you are never sending thoughts of need. Need vibrates with emptiness. Love vibrates with fullness. So when you think of them, don't think of what's missing, think of what's already perfect. Imagine how good it feels that they care, that they are drawn, that they feel your calm. The moment you shift from waiting to knowing, everything begins to unfold. Some have said that when they practice this, the person they think of suddenly calls, or appears, or mentions something oddly specific that mirrors their inner vision. It surprises them at first, and then they realize it's completely natural. Of course, it happens. The universe is always faithful to imagination. In moments when you feel tired or uncertain, do not rush to do more. Doing is not the key here. Being is. Simply be in the state of love. Be in the feeling that you are understood, that you are desired, that you are safe. From that state, your mental messages are effortless. They don't have to be repeated 1,000 times. Once felt deeply, even once, it is enough to set the unseen in motion. You can practice this before sleep, when the world is quiet and your mind is still. Lie down, close your eyes, and picture the one you love resting in peace. See them smile. Feel their heart relax as if they can sense your presence beside them. In that moment, you are joined in spirit. That union is more real than any text, Any word, any meeting. If ever your outer world seems to contradict your inner belief, don't worry. The seed doesn't sprout the moment it's planted. It takes time for the roots to grow, for the soil to align, for the stem to rise. But once you've planted love in consciousness, its fruit is inevitable. The outer world must bend to the inner conviction. This understanding is the secret of all spiritual communication. It isn't about forcing someone to love you. It's about realizing that love already unites you. You simply tune into it, as one tunes into a song that's already playing. Once your heart vibrates at the same frequency, you naturally hear the melody. Keep your focus gentle, not intense. Keep your faith steady, not desperate. Every loving thought is a prayer answered. Every quiet visualization is a bridge built. And soon, when the time is ripe, they will find their way to you, drawn not by need, but by the peace that only true love can create. When you begin to live from this inner stillness, you notice how your world starts to soften. People smile more easily. Circumstances that once felt heavy begin to shift. Even time itself seems to cooperate with you. This is the evidence that you are dwelling in a higher vibration, the vibration of quiet assurance. You no longer look for signs with restless eyes. Instead, signs simply appear like petals falling at your feet. A song on the radio, a phrase in conversation, a sudden dream. These are all gentle confirmations from the unseen that your thought has been received. You smile, not in surprise, but in recognition, because you know it is the natural order of things. You realize that telepathy is not only mind to mind, but heart to heart. When your heart is pure in its intention, every thought you send carries warmth. It's like sunlight streaming through clouds, touching everything without asking for permission. You begin to live as that sunlight. You don't demand, you bless. You don't question, you trust. And the one you love cannot help but feel the glow. Sometimes they will reach out suddenly, seemingly without reason, as if something invisible pushed them to think of you. They might say, "You just came to mind today," not realizing that you called them softly through the language of the spirit. That gentle pull they felt wasn't accident. It was the answering vibration of love that you released in faith. As this becomes natural to you, your confidence in the unseen grows. You no longer wonder whether it works, you know it does. You see how everything in creation is connected through consciousness, how thought is not limited by distance, and how love is the only true substance that endures through every form. This awareness makes you more compassionate. You understand that everyone is sending and receiving thoughts all the time, even unconsciously. So you choose to be deliberate. You send peace instead of worry, kindness instead of judgment. You become a silent healer to those around you. The same force that draws your loved one closer also blesses strangers, family, and friends, because love never travels in one direction. It circles back multiplied. Each time you close your eyes and imagine harmony, you are participating in divine creation. You are saying, "Let there be light." And light appears in the relationship, in the atmosphere, in you. You may notice that the one you love starts reflecting the very qualities you've been cultivating within yourself: gentleness, openness, patience. This is not coincidence, it's resonance. The outer person begins to mirror the inner image. When you understand this, your power feels sacred. You treat it with reverence. You stop using imagination to worry or rehearse pain. Instead, you use it to bless, to affirm, to send grace. You realize that your thoughts are prayers, and prayers never fall on deaf ears. In quiet moments, you may even feel a pulse in your chest, a subtle warmth that rises when you think of them. That is the movement of connection. You're feeling the circuit complete itself. There is no need to speak out loud or push for results. The moment you feel that gentle peace, the work is done. The message is sent. You might catch yourself smiling for no reason, sensing that something beautiful is unfolding. That's how you know you're aligned. When joy comes before evidence, you've learned to trust the invisible. You've learned that love, once imagined, is already born. As you keep practicing, you will see that the one you love becomes more responsive, not because you force them, but because you set them free from the energy of pressure. You release them into the current of love, and love always guides gently home. You stop needing to explain yourself or prove your worth. You simply dwell in the knowing that you are already chosen in spirit. Every time you imagine a loving moment, a conversation filled with laughter, a glance that feels familiar, a meeting wrapped in calm, You're creating the pattern that life will later weave into form. You are not daydreaming idly, you are sculpting the unseen clay of reality with your faith. Keep your heart steady, even on days when the world appears unchanged. The unseen always works in silence before it shows itself in sound. Seeds grow in darkness before they break through soil. In the same way, your loving thoughts are germinating right now, and the bloom will appear when the season is right. When the thought comes, what if it doesn't work? Smile gently. Say to yourself, love never fails. Feel those words sink deep into you. Love never fails because love is God in motion, the highest intelligence guiding all things toward harmony. And when you rest in that truth, there is nothing more to do. You'll notice your communication with them changing subtly. Maybe your interactions become easier, lighter, more open. Perhaps they begin to share more, or you find yourself saying exactly the right thing without planning it. That is the evidence of inner alignment. Your thoughts have reached them, softened them, drawn them near in unseen ways, and the outer world simply reflects what the soul already knew. Let this practice become a part of your being. Let your every silent thought be an act of giving rather than wanting. Give them understanding, give them peace, give them light. The more you give inwardly, the more life gives outwardly. As you walk through your days, you begin to feel that you are surrounded by a quiet miracle. The air feels alive, as if it carries messages of affection and reassurance. You realize you are constantly communicating, not through words, but through vibration, through faith, through love. Even when you are apart in distance, you are together in consciousness. When you think of them with tenderness, they feel lighter without knowing why. When they smile suddenly in the middle of their day, it may be because your silent blessing just reached them. Hold to this truth gently. Do not grip it too tightly, for love needs no effort to breathe. The moment you believe it, you are already living it. Every breath becomes a message, every heartbeat a signal, every quiet moment an invisible embrace. You will find that as your love matures in this way, it loses all fear. There is no longer a need to ask, do they love me? For you feel love moving freely through you. That movement itself is proof. The outer reflection is only a matter of time. Keep walking in faith. Keep sending light. Keep imagining beauty. The unseen listens always, and love, once released, never returns empty. So, my dear one, never doubt the power that lives within you. You are not waiting for love. You are creating it with every thought you dare to feel as real. The distance, the silence, the uncertainty, they are nothing compared to the strength of your inner conviction. Love is not a plea, it is a declaration. When you believe in the invisible bond, when you trust the quiet voice within, you become the living proof that hearts can find each other beyond words, beyond walls, beyond time. So stand firm in your faith. Let your love speak in silence. Let your imagination paint the world you desire, and watch as life, with perfect grace, rearranges itself to match the song you've been singing in your heart all along. Tankas Farwati G.